everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about doing a little bit of ribcage mobility and taking you through a few minutes, a little taster of how you can move your ribcage and how to release your ribcage. And then everything we're going to do today is going to be super gentle, and it might involve other parts of your body, obviously, because your rib cage starts up here where your first vertebrae is of your thoracic spine, all the way down until it meets your lower back. So if we start to move our shoulders and do some breathing for our diaphragm, and also do a little bit of lower back work to help mobilize the ribs and the vertebrae that it attaches to. So you're going to lay on your back first and have your knees bent. Go ahead and find like a comfortable spot for the back of your head. So I'm going to actually take my ponytail out. Okay. So with your knees bent, place your hands on your ribs right in front where it feels like a lot of it is kind of like jutting upwards. Okay, and then you're going to take your fingers very gently and kind of like curl them a little bit. And slowly curl them over that part of the rib which rises up and then kind of like dips down where your organs would be. So in that area is where your diaphragm lays. And what I'm doing is I'm just gently kind of finding the line of where the bony points of my ribs are and the soft tissue is of my abdomen, right along that line. And I'm gently like pressing into that area and kind of moving and shaking it a little. So I'm going to do this a few times closer in towards my sternum, which is this hard bone in front of your chest. So I'm going all the way in towards the midline of my body. If I were to cut my body in half, I'm going all the way there, and then I'm slowly backing out to go more to the sides of my ribs where they start to curl downwards. And you can go all the way down until you feel like the parts of your ribs which come to the very sides of your body, those might feel a little bit more tender. That's normal. And obviously, if it feels too tender, you are in control here. So you are the one putting as much pressure as need be. But remember, we're doing everything gentle. And then after doing this a few times, take your knuckles, okay, with my hands are like this, I'm taking my knuckles, and I'm just going to rub my sternum right in the center of my body, and then slowly move slightly away from the center so that you're getting the sides of your sternum too. And then you can slowly like spread that area apart. It should feel kind of good because, I don't know, it's like a part of your body that you don't normally touch or feel like you give a lot of sensation to. So releasing this area might feel really nice. I'm going all the way up to my collarbone. It feels nice if you do this on a t-shirt, maybe not on your bare chest. Good, and then slowly just let it go. Now take your hands on your ribs, again where we started. This time not curling the fingers under, just holding that area. And I want you to close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths in and out. And I want you to specifically try and breathe into that area where your hands are. Not forcefully, but just wherever your breath comes in, see if you can bring it in towards that specific area. So rather than it, if you're a chest breather normally, rather than it lifting up through your chest, see if you can send that same exact breath, but to your ribs. Just notice the subtle movement of your ribs. Notice how they move sideways, laterally expanding, as well as up and down. And also just take notice if one side feels like it's moving more than the other. Taking one more round of breath here, again, nice and gentle. Good, and then you can flutter your eyes open if you wish for a moment just to see what I'm doing, and then you can close them again. So bring your fingers up to the ceiling and your elbows wide, about as wide as your shoulders. And you're going to start to windshield wiper your legs from side to side. And as you windshield wiper your legs from side to side, I'm going to scooch over a little. From side to side, I want you to keep your upper arms, the parts that are touching the floor, and your shoulder blades down on the floor. So keep those points like really heavy without necessarily pushing down into the floor, just keeping them grounded on the floor. So what you should notice is that when you do that with your upper body, keeping it still, as the lower body moves, it should feel like you're mobilizing or moving the rib cage in the middle of your spine. Now, as you continue to do this, we're going to add the arms in. So as my legs drop to the right side, my right hand goes back and my left arm comes down. Okay. And as I move my legs to the left side, my left hand goes back and my right hand comes down. Okay, so now we're getting the shoulders involved, and we're moving in kind of a dynamic, variable sort of position. And as we do a few of these, I'll show you the third layer of this movement. And if you wish to close your eyes so that you can feel a little bit more in your body, please do so. Noticing how the hips, the pelvis, the shoulder blades, and the arms all connect to that rib cage. Okay. And then the third layer is going to be adding neck motions. So I'm going to go with my knees to the left. My left arm goes back, my right arm comes down towards my feet, and then my head is going to turn to the right. Okay? So head turns opposite the direction of the knees. Maybe for this one, keep your eyes open, but keep them soft. Keep your face nice and soft. And keep your head heavy on the floor, so you're not lifting it up as you turn it. You're letting it just rotate on the floor, like how a ball would kind of roll on the floor. Okay, all the surfaces of the ball keep touching the floor as it rolls. And as you do this, because I asked you to keep your eyes open, going back to that point, go ahead and scan your environment. So obviously you're laying on the floor, so look at your ceiling. And as you rotate your head to one side, just scan all the furniture, or if you're in your bedroom, your bed. And maybe don't take in what your floor looks like. Because the more I've been home, the more I've been kind of assessing where I need to clean. Maybe see if you can just omit that part. Just concentrating on your body and not on the floor. Good. And then slowly come back to the center. Again, placing your hands on your ribs. Close your eyes, just take a couple of breaths here. See how it feels. So without forcing anything, keep your shoulders relaxed, elbows relaxed. It should feel like there's a bit more breath coming into this area. And what that feels like is just the quality and ease of the inhale and exhale being able to circulate in this part, allowing your ribs to move. All right, so from here, come onto your hands and knees. And next thing we're going to do is just like body rolls. I don't really know what you call them. I call them body rolls or like rib rolls. So take your hands. They don't have to be directly underneath your shoulders. They can be a little bit in front of you, as long as it feels comfortable on your shoulders. Your knees are about hip width or a little bit wider. You can tuck your toes or keep them flat on the floor, whatever feels good for you. And then you're going to start to kind of make big circles with your ribs. So I'm going to my right first, and then to my left. And I'm really exaggerating this motion. Okay, so thinking of it like how your ribs are attached to your spine. So as you come up here, your head may drop because you're flexing your spine. And then you're side bending, extending when you get to the very bottom, and side bending to the other side. Try and look down at the floor the whole time between your fingers or between your hands. And then as you move through this circle, try and keep your elbows as straight as possible too. And oftentimes we tend to like hyperextend into our elbows. So try not to do that. So you want to push the floor away and keep your arms active, but elbows stay straight. And as you do this and keep your elbows straight, you should also notice how that increases the mobility in your shoulders. And then go ahead and reverse your circle. This whole time you're breathing, relaxing, breathing and relaxing. You can close your eyes here and really connect to your body, to your rib cage. Just feeling like the full breath of it all the way from your collarbones down to your lower back, wrapping around you, attaching into your shoulders and into your armpits. Good. And now from here for our last mini mobility work, we're going to be in a puppy dog pose. So your hips stay up at 90 degrees, head comes down. You're going to reach your arms in front of you. You can let your elbows relax here and maybe even grab onto either one of the elbows. And then over here, I want you to breathe into the sides of your ribs. So if you can imagine, like, how a fish looks with gills on its side, how the gills kind of open and closes. If you've ever been to an aquarium or the zoo, I don't know. Notice how like the gills of the fish are on the sides of its body, opening and closing. I want you to imagine like you have those gills. And I want you to send that breath there. Inhaling, gills open. Exhaling, gills close and relax. Good, and then slowly get your arms underneath you, prop yourself back up, and then lay down one last time, again, to check in with your breath. So that's the whole purpose of doing some rib mobilities, so that you can get your breath into your diaphragm and into your lungs really efficiently. So hands on the bony points or the very top sort of peaks of your ribs here. Knees bent, shoulders relax on the floor, shoulder blades relax on the floor. You can close your eyes. And again, feeling and noticing the quality of your breath. One more full breath in and out. And then flutter your eyes open. Come to sit. Cross your legs. Find your sit bones. Place your hands onto your knees. And just grow tall through the crown of your head here.
Who would you like to call? Who would you like to call?
Taking one more deep breath.
Sorry, who would you like to call?
And then take your hands to the center of your chest. Bring your head down.
Who would you like to call?
Namaste. Sorry about that. I don't know why my Siri's growing crazy. Anyways, have a
It's no
beautiful
problem.
day, and I'll see you next time.